I think the routes are terrible. I think they run terrible routes, and I've thought that beyond this year. And I think Ceedee's got to improve in his route running.
Good people, it's your boy Mr. Rome, Cowboys Fan Talk, right back. Like I never left. What's up with y'all, man? I hope y'all doing okay. I know the last 4 days been terrible. Your whole thoughts on the team have changed probably. It's crazy. Before I get into the content, let me say thank you to our channel sponsor BetUS for sponsoring this video. If you're into sports betting, let them take care of you like they take care of me. And I appreciate y'all too, man. Thank y'all for all the support. Thank y'all for getting me to 28K. Pushing towards 29 now and then towards 30. But thank y'all, man. Every subscriber, all the likes and shares do matter, and I appreciate them. Now let's talk about one of our Cowboys legends, Troy Aikman. Probably at the top of the Mount Rushmore. I know people got their favorite Cowboys quarterbacks, but there's only one that got 3 chips. And at the end of the day, Troy Aikman's whole aura, his whole stature with the team is not just passing stats. It was leadership. It was demeanor. It was knowing how to manage all of those egos back in the 90s, along with Jimmy Johnson. And he has very, 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 very poignant and smart football takes, which is why he does commentary. Now, I don't always agree with his commentary, just like I don't agree with Romo's, because they got a job to do and they can't just be Cowboys homers. But this particular situation isn't during a broadcast. This is his opinion, right? Now, he talked about a couple of different things. I put a little clip in the beginning so you can hear where he was coming from. But he talked about Jerry Jones, right? And he talked about why we're here where we're at, why our expectations are where they are. And I want y'all to hear this interview, this piece of the interview, and then I'll come back and we'll talk about the other thing he said about Ceedee Lamb and the receivers. Because at the end of the day, that's one of the things that's really, really affecting this team. But I need to set this up. I need y'all to hear the first part of the interview because it kind of lays out why we are where we are, why our expectations are high, why Jerry Jones being a salesman set us up. And this is Troy Aikman letting you know why Jerry Jones put himself in this position, even though he's spiraling out of control.
And then he publicly threatens to fire the hosts of his radio show. And normally, Jerry's got a very thick skin. Does it surprise you how he's handled the criticism this week?
Yes and no. Yes, from the standpoint that I think he's always been really good. I do know that Jerry can get pretty upset. He does have a temper, but he does a good job, I think, over the years of really restraining it, especially when he's dealing with the public or out in public. But to me, the reaction by him is more an indication of what he's feeling and what's going on inside of him and how frustrated that he is. And maybe by the reaction of, I don't know exactly what the question was. I think it had something to do with the off season, and obviously that was a big point of contention coming into the season and even during the off season, that the lack of moves. The part that was surprising to me, and I've said this before, that when Jerry said, "Hey, we're all in," and wanted people to prove their worth, I guess the only one who has done that or is doing that currently now is Mike McCarthy. But if ultimately you're going to sign, I think everyone knew they were going to sign Ceedee Lamb. I don't agree with just let's sign him before camp and have him miss all of training camp. I'm an old school guy, and I just believe that practice matters. I believe that having the team together matters. So if I knew I was going to sign him anyway, I would have him signed so that he's working out with my quarterback and doing the things that he should be doing.
Listen, it's real simple. Go to betus.com, set up a profile. It's real simple. The interface is dope. It ain't hard to do. You're going to get personalized care. Use code YouTube150. Get 150% sign-up bonus for up to $2,000. Trust me, we going to be all right. Go to BetUS, set up your account, put a little bread on the Cowboys, or don't, or bet against the Cowboys. Either way, BetUS going to take care of you. Remember, 150% sign-up bonus, code U2150. Let them take care of you like they take care of me. I'll holla. I agree with Troy 100%. Jerry said that all-in phrase is going to haunt Jerry Jones for the rest of his career. Maybe I ain't gonna say it. He older, let's say that. But that phrase has just stuck out like a sore thumb because he didn't have to say it. Nobody prompted him to say it. Nobody made him say it. And we would have went into this year with the right expectation of let's just see what we can do. Let's make things work. We didn't do a lot in the offseason. But to say we're all in, we're pushing the chips all in, and then just try to spin it and say, I meant all in on the players we have already. And it's just sounded stupid. Now he's been defending it. But to hear Troy Aikman come out and just put clarity and validity to how we be feeling. See, it's one thing when you say y'all just passionate fans, but nah, Cowboys legend Troy Aikman. Yeah, he feel like we feel. You haven't done enough, man. You have not done enough. But at the end of the day, it ain't always about what you did and what you didn't do. Sometimes it's about what we have here. And this is the part of the interview that really stuck out to me because Troy started to break down small things that could change this season. Not just like, all right, well, next year we're going to get new players. It ain't always about new players. It's about the culture that's built and how we play the game and how the Cowboys, being called soft recently, are playing soft. But it's not because I feel like they soft. It's because of what you're putting on the field. It's effort. That word is starting to stick out like a sore thumb. We're talking about practice and fundamentals and effort. And when Mike McCarthy said it earlier this week, I was like, effort? Are you serious? Like, what kind of clown organization are we talking about effort going into week 7? But it's true. There's a lack of effort. And I hope our players are looking at themselves in the mirror. But listen to Troy break down what he think is wrong with Ceedee Lamb and the Cowboys receivers. It's kind of jarring, but listen.
Let's talk about that connection that's not really there right now between Dak and Lamb. There were two critical plays. Both could have resulted in touchdowns. One, Lamb had one-on-one coverage and it looked like he got the jump ball that he wanted the week before, and he didn't get to it, and it went incomplete. And then the other one was intercepted in a really good play by Brian Branch. But, again, those are two passes that, at least in the second half of last year, it seemed like those two always connected. Was that just another indication of, well, that's what you get if you don't have them working together in July and August?
I think that's part of it. I think the routes are terrible. I think they run terrible routes, and I've thought that beyond this year. And I think Ceedee's got to improve in his route run. And as a quarterback, if you're not certain where guys are going to be consistently, it's hard to play the position. And so that's what I see. I see guys lazy coming off the line of scrimmage. Sometimes they run. Usually if they do, it's because they're anticipating they're going to get the football in that play. But if they're not, they don't, and it all ties together. And so I'm not impressed with that part of it. I just finished watching the Baltimore Ravens because I have them this week. You put on a film of theirs and watch their receivers run routes, and they come off the football. And so do San Francisco's and Green Bay's and others. But it's hard to play the position if you're not certain how guys are going to run routes or where they're going to be. And I'm not speaking for Dak. Dak may say, hey, I think everything's amazing. But as a former quarterback watching it, it's got to get a lot better.
That's interesting, and I wonder if that ties into the way they've been practicing, because Dak and some other players have said this year after these losses, well, we didn't have a good week of practice, or we're not paying attention to detail in practice. That's a real red flag, isn't it? It
absolutely is. If the quarterback is saying we're not practicing hard enough, we need to be more accountable, or whatever the terminology is that he's using, and I know that a couple weeks ago he said something similar. Yeah, that's a huge red flag. One, because it's an indictment on how things are being done. But usually, as we know, Dak is the last person who's going to say something like that publicly. So if he says something, as is the case for most quarterbacks, if they're saying something publicly like that, then it's a problem, and it's obviously causing some real frustration on his part. And so that stuff, we talked about it before. That stuff's got to get cleaned up. I don't care if it's sports, business, whatever it is. I mean, there are certain things, in my opinion, that are relatively easy to clean up, and effort and paying attention to detail and knowing assignments and practicing at a certain level is amongst the easiest things that I would be able to fix.
I don't know what to tell y'all. Like lately, I've been doing, sometimes you can take a piece of the interview and just kind of speak your mind. And that's what I love to do. I don't always like to just play an interview because, y'all like to hear what I got to say about it. But sometimes you need the information unadulterated so you can digest it yourself. Hearing Troy Aikman say the receivers aren't giving full effort when they don't think they're getting the ball. First of all, the audacity. The audacity of Ceedee Lamb to feel like that. You got paid. Now we need you to produce. We know you alone. We know you don't have no other receiver near you. Like as far as like top tier receiver. Which means we need top effort from you. Set an example. But the audacity of the other receivers, Jalen Brooks and Tolbert and Turpin and Ferg and any other receiver that might be getting the ball, not running like their life depends on it. Because it does. You guys ever want an extension? You want to remain a Cowboy? You need to be putting in max effort. To hear him say, I've watched them lollygag off the line, run half-ass, thinking they're not going to get the ball. It's just disheartening. No, I ain't watched all of the film. Because the stuff I did see, I can see what he's saying. But to go back and watch some of these players not give full effort, because I'm probably ain't getting the ball, and be basically a tip-off to the defense, they ain't getting the ball. Soon as the play starts, you ain't even trying. Oh, it's a run. Oh, it's going to here. Why you think Branch and them not like Branch falling off his receiver? Because this receiver probably half-assed. He ain't getting the ball. These little things. This is Robert Prince's fault. You the wide receiver coach. It starts with the positional coach, then your coordinator, then the head coach. All of y'all are at fault. Mike Zimmer and Mike McCarthy. Get it together. I was once just mad at the players. Now I'm really starting to get mad at the coaching too, because things keep coming out, letting me know that we're not trying as hard as we need to be. That falls at the feet of Mike McCarthy. This ain't no excuse. It ain't no excuse for Dak Prescott. But one thing that he said when he said, yo, man, as a quarterback, it's hard to play when you don't know where your players are going to be. Look, Dak is a beast, but he can't run your routes for you. Like, he can't put effort in for you. You have to try. Dak is a 4th-round pick that worked himself to where he is now. He worked himself into a Pro Bowler, an All-Pro, leading the league in touchdowns, etc. But that was through hard work because his natural talent ain't there to do that. Some people are just naturally gifted and don't work hard. Some people don't have the talent and their work ethic gets them where they are. I need some of our talented players, some of our not as talented players to take that work ethic and apply it to themselves because this ain't good enough. It's not. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. I would love to know y'all thoughts on this interview. Troy Aikman with some nuggets. It's just crazy, man. I know y'all tired of us coming in here and just beating down the players, but they need some medicine because all of that praise has gotten us to people being lazy. They got to earn my praise back because right now, they don't deserve any praise, any hype. They deserve to be told, get better. Like I said in my live stream yesterday. Oh, before I say that, thank you to my channel sponsor, BetUS, for sponsoring this video. I appreciate you. But what I was going to say is before we give these players any praise, anything extra, 2 words, do something.